So anyway, it's great to have Gillian today, and Gillian's going to be talking about the Tools2Talk app, which is, I believe it's a sort of low-cost type app, Gillian, is that right?
Yeah. Hi there, everybody. Yeah, it is a low-cost app if what you want is access to a good range of symbols for producing your printed resources.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
we like it a lot, so I thought it'd be worth sharing information about it.
So what we'll do is we'll switch from this section into the shared desktop, so you can actually see what you're doing on the iPad. Yeah, and you've got a small presentation to show.
Yeah,
and
a
then
few
you're going to show
slides.
the app,
Just a wee bit of the background to the app, some information
that's
about
great.
who it'd be useful for.
Right, so I'll switch over just now, okay, Gillian, and I'll just get things on the go so you're ready to go.
That's great. So yeah, I suppose when we're talking about symbol software for creating resources for pupils, for anyone really who might benefit from them, we tend to think of the big names here in symbol resources, but we like Tools2Talk. It's been around for a wee while. There was an early version which was very cheap, the original Tools2Talk, which I think was under £10, but it was revised quite a number of years ago to this Tools2Talk Plus, which is still low cost, but the benefit of this new version or newer version is that it has access to a large PCS database of symbols. So yeah, I'm going to just give you a wee bit of background, and then we'll have a look at the app and touch on these other options for creating symbolized resources.
I'm right in thinking the PCS has come quite late into the game, the iPad game, haven't
they? They have. Some of the other symbol sets were licensed a bit earlier on in a lot of the communication apps. So yeah, PCS are starting now to become available, so which is a good thing.
So Tools2Talk is one of the few that does have them then.
It is, yeah. So just if you're keen to keep in touch after the webinar, popped in the Twitter account for Call and myself, so please look out for anything that happens to crop up on Twitter. But just moving on then to the next slide, I'm sure most people will have already seen our wheel of AEC or apps for pupils with complex communication support needs. And this is a selection of, I suppose, our top apps for using, iPad apps for using with, with people with these needs. We have actually included a wee feature, Tools2Talk appears at the bottom of the wheel, really basically because we do think it is a useful app to consider. So it's on there on our wheel of apps. So if anybody wants to download that, if they haven't already, the link is there. But if you go to our website, to the download section, you'll find the place that you can download this resource. So
the electronic one has clickable links.
It has clickable links. So yeah, if you click on the Tools2Talk icon or the name, I think it is just below it, it takes you straight to iTunes, where you can purchase the app or certainly find out more information about it. So just moving on, a bit more information about the app itself. It comes from Scope, which in Australia, an organisation supporting people with disabilities, and popped the website address in there. So if you look at the website, there is information about the app on it. It's a wee bit hidden actually though, because it's in the shop. You have to look for the trolley icon, the Scope shop, and that's where you find the information about it. But what's on there actually, a fairly short, concise information, but also a couple of videos, including a really nice demo video. And I'll just flip over to the website if this all works seamlessly, I hope. Here we are. Yes, so the Scope website should appear, hopefully, in a second. So the first video on the website page, when it does appear, is a very short 30-second overview of the app and how it looks. The second video, however, is just scroll down. So that's just some of the information. The first video there, I say it's a really short one, but the second video here is just a bit short of 30 minutes long, and it's actually quite a good, more detailed video of how to use Tools2Talk. So today I'm not going to really go into exactly how to do everything. I'm going to touch on one or two of the features of the app and show some examples actually of what we've done with the app. But this is a good place to come back to if you want to sit and have a look through, because pretty much they go through all the features in the app in quite a bit of depth on this video. So that's a useful resource to know about. So if we just go back now to the PowerPoint, there is a user guide for Tools2Talk, and that's actually contained within the app itself, and you can read it within the app, or you can share the app with your iBooks on your iPad, or you could email the user guide and print it off. So yeah, user guides, useful information there too. So to buy the app, say you go to iTunes and either just Google Tools2Talk, or if you've got our app wheel, you can click on the link to get through to iTunes. So that's a bit about it and who the app developer is. Why might you choose to use it? And it primarily is for creating your own printed symbol resources. So, and this is really how it was, or why it was developed in the first place. And these resources, initially, you might think of them using them with people to support their communication, but of course, symbolized resources would also support people's literacy and can also help with organisational skills. And we'll come on to showing a few examples of that. I think it's maybe was a bit of an afterthought, but might be quite useful to some, in that you can also use it with on your iPad. You can use your symbol boards with voice output. So really, basically, turning your iPad into a communication device. So that's called chat mode. The earlier mode where you create your resources is the edit mode. So the chat mode might be useful for you if you're maybe wanting to assess somebody just at the early stages, assessing them to see if voice output communication using symbols might be of benefit to them. You might just be developing, I say, a few early sort of pages, a bit like really a speaking communication book. But I'm not sure that you would really use the app beyond that. Really, and you wouldn't buy it for the primary purpose of a voice output communication app. So it could be a useful feature, but you would only really buy this app if you want to produce your own printed symbol resources. So it's the PCS symbols, as I said, that's contained within the app. So that's the picture communication symbols, just to be clear about that. That's the symbols that are contained within the Boardmaker software sort of normally. It's not, I would say, the complete set of PCS symbols. They say there's about 20,000 symbols in there, and of course it's not updated. So if you are using Boardmaker online, which is the sort of latest version of the Boardmaker software, there's an automatic update of new symbols that are being created. So that symbol database is always increasing, whereas within Tools2Talk it's a set that's not updated. But for the price, you'll see £46. It's quite considerably cheaper than other options if what you're looking for is something that's quite simple to use, and you perhaps if you don't already have any other access to symbol software, it might be a good place to start. So just moving on, so who might use it then? Well, I expect you you would be involved in supporting individuals, so with speech, language and communication difficulty. And you would be looking to develop low-tech or printed means of supporting their communication, so augmentative communication. And you might also be looking to use symbols to support their understanding of language. So by modelling the use of the symbols when you're communicating, supporting understanding, often referred to as aided language stimulation or aided language input. So these would be the primary types of individuals that you would be using Tools2Talk to produce resources for. But of course, we do know that many other people, children and adults, can benefit from symbols as visual resources, as visual supports. So let's just have a wee look. I've got a wee blank screen there. It should have some content on it. That's a bit scary. Let's just see if there's anything on the next one.
Oh, it's a transition.
Is it maybe just...
Yeah, just a transition.
Just the transition one that's coming? Right, okay, yeah, right, there we go. Right, yeah, content is there. Keep you on my toes. So yes, there's lots of other needs that individuals might have that would benefit from using symbolised resources. And this is just a few to include, but children. So we're talking here really about using symbols around the environment, and also for activities such as timetables, checklists of things to do, routines. So as you'll see, lots of pupils that could benefit regardless of their need, whether it's attention difficulties or resistance to change of routines, etc. And a few more here as examples, different needs that pupils might have. So yeah, we certainly do advocate using symbol resources for pupils with lots of needs. So you might, Tools2Talk might just be a resource to suggest to parents who maybe don't have access to symbol software that teachers and other staff might have at their place of work, or other carers or workers maybe starting out to use symbols. So it might be a good place to start rather than investing a lot more money in the more expensive software, symbol software that's available. So I think what we'll do, we'll now just jump and show you Tools2Talk itself. So hopefully this transition will be a bit more seamless. So here we are. This is what Tools2Talk looks like when you open it up. Oh, thank goodness for that. So this is a welcome screen, and you can do two things from here. You can go into the chat mode, which is, let's see, it works a bit like a voice output communication device. Or you can make an aid. That's the edit mode. And we'll have a look at chat mode actually in the first instance. So, so what it's done is it's opened up into one of the boards that I've made. So as you'll see, you would expect you'd recognise the PCS symbols. And this is a board I've made from just a standard 4x4 grid. Added in my own symbols and text, selected a font that I felt was going to be appropriate certainly for children, and so there's the symbol and there's the cell label, but behind that also is a spoken message, and by default it will speak the cell label. So I'll just let you hear this one. It's a standard iOS text-to-speech voices that uses. I think I might have the English Ireland voice selected here, which I do like. So I'm just going to select one or two of the cells to let you hear it as it works in chat mode. So
I like that. I like that.
Oh, selected that twice.
Bicycle.
I know you can't see what I'm selecting here, but I say, just really works a bit like a communication device.
Don't like. Train. Slow.
So if I had another page of my communication book here, you'll see the small arrow in the circle on the bottom would navigate through to the second page, and I don't think I've got anything on that particular board. But let me just show you another one that does actually have can demonstrate a couple of different pages. So I'm just going to go. Is it the hamburger sign? These three lines at the top there. Yes. So I'm just going to select that to go to one of my other boards, and I'm looking for my shopping list this time. I think it is.
Just like a file browser.
No.
Is it? Where you can
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. No, it's a My Breakfast I'm looking for. Actually, there it is. My Breakfast routine. So this is one of the templates, and it's just really a standard first then template. But you can, say, use it in chat mode with speech output if that's helpful for your learners. So just tap on the
Wash hands.
the cells and you'll hear them.
Eat breakfast.
So what I do first and what I do next. And this time there's another board, although it's empty, but if I click on the arrow, it shows you the next step. So I see it's very much like a book where you're turning the pages in this chat mode. What you can't set up is a sort of jump page from one cell to open up a new page. So which we would tend to use in a more sort of sophisticated communication app would have jump maybe a starting topic page with jumps to the pages with the topic vocabulary. It's very much you're basically going in a linear mode from one page to the next. So that's the chat mode. I say it could be useful, but how you would be most likely to use this is in the edit mode. And I'm going to go back to the welcome page and this time into make an aid. So what you've got here is basically on the left hand side all the grids, and most of these are grids that I have added. It doesn't come really with examples in it, but you can see on the right hand side is where you might add a new grid, and there's a couple of different options here. You can select a grid size, so this is no particular template, it's just whatever number of cells you might want to have on your page, and you can have as little as one cell, one big cell or one big square on your page, and you can go up to a 9 by 9. So I'll just show you a couple of examples that I've created to let you see how they look. So a 1 by 1, so I'm selecting the one that I made. You see when you tap on the name you get the various options, and to view it I'm just going to tap the edit grid. So that's basically where the view that where you make your new board, and that's the 1 by 1. I see nice big symbol with the text on it. So I'm just going to go back. The second one was a 4 by 4 that I'd made, and this is actually the one that we're looking at in the chat mode. And then finally, I'm not quite sure who might go to this level, but this is the 9 by 9. If you see the size of the images really gets quite considerably smaller, but it is possible if you do want to have a lot of cells. Maybe the reason I put these sort of duplicate symbols on this one was just to show if you can't say you want to produce a lot of identical symbols for a game or for labeling somehow, it is possible to make this pretty easily. And what you do is if you're editing or adding a symbol to any cell, you basically just select it. So I'm just going to select one this now, and if I want to add in sort of exactly the same thing to lots and lots of cells, I just select all the ones that I want to edit. So if I just select a group of 4, and in order to add something to it, if I want to add, a really quick way to add content to your page is just to go into the text option first and just type in a label text. Now that doesn't happen with multiple cells, so let me just go back and show you this. I like this feature, although you can't actually use it in multiple cells, but if I go into add a bit of text to the label text, and say I type something in like house and OK, it automatically populates it with the symbol or a symbol that might be the right symbol for you. It might be that in fact that's not the symbol that you want, so you can still go back and edit that symbol. You could go in and change it. So, but it's just, it can make it quite quick for you, the fact that auto populates. So, where were we? We were talking about adding in multiple things to a cell, and let's just see if we can do that this time. So I'm going to go back to the images, and I'm going to show you how to add in a PCS symbol. You'll notice just underneath PCS symbols, COMPIC symbols are mentioned, and these are a small symbol set of symbols that were developed in Australia. There's much smaller range there, but it's possible to use them to augment the PCS symbols if you so wish. But we'll just have a quick look at the PCS symbols. So this time I'm going to select something to pop in. Say it's dog, and I'm just going to choose the first dog that's there. And you'll see that that's gone into all 4 cells, so it's pretty quick. I don't have to copy and paste there. So I'll just come out of that big grid now because it's a bit tricky to see exactly what's going on with it, and just go back to, just to reiterate, the grid size you can choose is really any combination from up to 9 rows and 9 columns, so there's quite a bit of flexibility there. So in addition to the different grid sizes, you can choose from a template, and that was where the first then template came from. And I'm just going to show you here the list of templates that there are. There is actually a better way to view the templates, and that's in the user guide. So if I just flip, actually I might not flip to the user guide because I'm just fearful of swapping between my 2 apps. But the user guide's got really nice pictorial examples of these different templates, and I have got a few here, so I think we might have time just to dip into 1 or 2 of them. So what do we have? There's 1 or 2 text templates for those that are working with people who might have some emerging literacy, and you can do things like change the appearance, the colour of cells. So I've added in the coloured vowels there. You can change the background colour and the border colour, etc. That's all in the style option. So if I just tap the style, you can see there's lots of different ways you can change the appearance of your board.
Jill, how would you move then from edit mode into actual? Would you then just use that to attach it to a printer or something to print it off?
Once you've created your board, what you do is you can share it. You can, if I actually just show you, if I go into one of my boards, if I just open it up, where are we? Edit board. If I go to the cog, now where did I see it? No, it's not the cog. It's the cloud with the arrow is the share mode. Yeah. So if I've got a board open, I've done all my editing and it's all finished. If I tap on that, you've got 2 options. You can either print it, so if your iPad is connected to a printer on the same wireless network, you can print the board. If not, you could email it to yourself and then print it from whatever PC that you have access to.
So that's the 2 options.
That's your 2 options for sharing it. Okay. Just one thing to note is that you're always in a portrait mode here. There's not really an option to choose a landscape when you're printing off, so it's just something to bear in mind. So the templates, just going back to them, are useful. We looked at the first then template. There's 1 or 2 communication book templates. That's one that's not got any content in it. So these templates you cannot change the layout of them. Here's another one which it's got some tabs down one side. So the idea is that you can make a book with multiple pages with tabs to help you to navigate through. And otherwise, other templates let's see, we looked at, there's a daily timetable. So you can see, you can, obviously add morning activities in there and afternoon activities. So there's about 15 of these templates. So quite useful for getting things created quickly. But what you can't do is create your own templates. You can only create your own grids using the different grid sizes. So that's let's see, that's all within edit mode. And I'm just going to go back into edit. All your editing is done within the options box on the right hand side. Things to do with the page and the page color, the text, we mentioned that, choosing your images and then creating your styles. And what's really good is that you've got an undo and a redo button, so if there's something you want to undo, you've got the option to do that.
And so, presumably everything you create in edit mode will appear in the chat.
The chat mode, yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just something else I've done with this, I'm not sure if people would find it useful, but you can use alternative keyboards to input your cell text. So if you wanted to have, say, French text as opposed to English text, how you would achieve this is you'd have to have the French or other language keyboard as an option on your iPad. So that would be the only text that would show up on your cell. But what I played a bit around with was having both English and, this was a Polish board that I made. Now, I did this in Google Translate, so I'm afraid it may not be entirely accurate. But with a wee bit kind of playing around, basically what I did is if I just select a cell and I go to text, let's just see, label text. All really I did was I put the English text in first and then I copy and pasted in from Google Translate the Polish text. So it works of a fashion because sometimes what you have to do is change the size of the text to get it over the sort of 2 lines correctly. But I just thought, well, might be something that's useful given the number of different languages that we have of the diverse population we have now in schools and elsewhere. So so could be a useful feature. So just sort of summing up now, I think I need to go back to my PowerPoint and fingers crossed that that's going to work okay. Yep. And compare it with.
I'll get you. So I'll just get you back into the.
So yeah, so I suppose I went over some reasons why you might choose to use Tools2Talk, but equally so there are a few considerations as to why you might not choose to use it. If you have got access to other symbol software, there's not really anything that Tools2Talk can do better. It's just sort of a cheaper, simpler option for printed resources. But also if you really want more flexibility with layouts, so other options within the other software packages such as BoardMaker, you can start from scratch and really create whatever layout that you want. It doesn't have to be a standard grid. So if you want that flexibility, then Tools2Talk is not going to do that for you. As I mentioned, if you want a larger range of symbols as well, it's not going to provide you with that. Or similarly, if you want the option of, say, combining a couple of symbols on a page, excuse me, or editing, then that's not possible within Tools2Talk. And if you really want to have a more comprehensive voice output type app, then you wouldn't choose Tools2Talk. But lots of things it does do for a low price. But bear in mind, you do need to have access to a way of printing from your iPad or emailing it to yourself. So these are the other options that you might use for producing your symbol resources. And the links. They vary in price, and some of them are subscription based as opposed to one-off cost. I think most of them do offer you free trials, so they might be worth, if you're looking for a more comprehensive software to use, they might be worth you checking out. And finally, just to mention, this is slightly off the topic of tools to talk, but related to Symbol resources, is that we have recently developed free resources within the BoardMaker software program. So you do need to have BoardMaker software to access these, but it's a package of about 60 boards for supporting communication literacy and organisational skills. And I've popped the link there, or there's quite a nice overview on the blog that Claire did earlier on in November on our website, which you can find by going to the blog section. So I think that is me, more or less, done. And I'm just wondering if anybody has got any specific questions you would like to ask.
Pop us back to where we were and check it off. I was just thinking, what format does it export in, Gillian? Was it PDF?
Yes.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. So if you don't have Wi-Fi, you could use one of these ScanDisk pens that we've got. It's got the USB on one end and the Lightning on the other, so you could connect it.
You could do. That's another way of doing it without having a wireless connection.
Well, Alison, Joanne, and Shirley, if you have any questions for Gillian, could you maybe just pop them into the pane, please? But it looks like a nice, easy to use program app.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. It really is simple. And I say the user guide is nice and clear. The video is helpful too. There's nothing too complicated about it. Mm-hmm. You don't get a chance to organise your boards into folders. They pretty much all appear, in alphabetical order. But there is a wee search tool at the top. So if you do happen to make lots and lots and lots of boards, you have a way of popping in a search item there to try and find the one you're looking at or looking for. So yeah.
Okay. Well, there don't appear to be any questions, so I think we'll just say goodbye to everyone, and just say thanks again. Hope you have a good break, and we'll be commencing again with a new webinar season after the holidays with a new schedule of events. So thanks again, everyone, and see you. Thanks, Gillian.
Yep. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Bye.